Every night, as the world quiets down, the noise in our heads can become deafening. We've all experienced it, lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, trapped in an endless loop of thoughts about our day and what tomorrow might hold. It's exhausting, isn't it? But you're not alone in this mental marathon. Overthinking is like having an itch you can't scratch, and it can rob you of both sleep and peace of mind. What if I told you there's a way to silence those noisy thoughts? Today, we're diving into the wisdom of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that remains as practical today as it was thousands of years ago. This isn't just about historical concepts. It's about real tools to help us live a more focused life. If you're tired of your mind spinning out of control, stick with me as we explore how these age-old strategies can bring peace and clarity to our chaotic world. If you appreciate what we're doing here and want to keep up with more insights like these, please hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss a moment of this video. Every second is packed with value to help you quiet the noise in your mind. You know those moments when you're sitting there, your mind racing with a million what-ifs and maybes, and before you know it, hours have slipped by with nothing to show for it. That's what we're tackling here. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to this paralysis by overanalysis, prioritizing action over endless thought. Consider the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, who said, "The secret of all victory lies in the organization of the non-obvious." Marcus wasn't just about thinking things through. He was about taking action that makes a real impact. So how do we apply this? It starts with recognizing that action inherently moves us forward, whereas overthinking often leads to stagnation. Have you ever noticed how a small step forward can lift a weight off your shoulders? That's because action is liberating. It breaks the chains of procrastination and doubt. Here's a personal story. I once had an idea for a project and spent weeks planning every detail in my head. But it never went anywhere because I was caught up in trying to make it perfect. The moment I started taking small actions, like jotting down notes or discussing the idea with a friend, things began to shift. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. The Stoics believed we control our actions, but not always the outcome. By focusing on what we can do right now, we reduce the overwhelm of trying to control every possible future scenario, something that's impossible. Each action teaches us something new, bringing insights and new challenges, but always progress. Action feeds confidence. Each time you act, you prove to yourself that you can move beyond your fears. You build momentum, and what once seemed impossible starts to look doable. Remember, Stoicism teaches us to live according to nature, and it's natural to learn and grow from what we do, not just from what we think. So, what small action can you take today? Maybe it's making that phone call you've been avoiding, sending an email, or organizing your workspace. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. Tiny steps still move you forward. The key is to keep moving and not let your thoughts hold you back. As Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." By embracing Stoicism's emphasis on action over analysis, we empower ourselves to live more fully, bravely, and with a clear sense of direction. So let's put those plans into action and make things happen. You'll be amazed at how much more you can achieve when you shift from overthinking to doing. The idea comes straight from Stoic teachings, particularly from Marcus Aurelius, who often reminded himself in his meditations to keep his ego in check. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This was a reminder to focus on what truly matters without getting caught up in our own self-importance. So, why is realizing you're not that special a good thing? It's about understanding that the world doesn't revolve around our actions as much as we might think. Most people are too busy dealing with their own lives to be overly concerned with ours. This realization can be a game changer because it means you can stop overthinking how you're perceived. Have you ever hesitated to post something online or start a new project because you were worried about what others would think? Here's a Stoic wake-up call. Most people won't even remember it a few days later. Everyone else is too busy navigating their own challenges. This doesn't mean your actions don't matter or that you shouldn't strive to do your best. It means you can breathe easier knowing that one mistake won't be the focal point of everyone's attention. This concept helps strip away the facade that everyone is watching and judging our every move, which feeds overthinking and anxiety. It's freeing to realize you can live your life, make your choices, and even make mistakes without the world coming crashing down. You get to experiment, learn, and live without the heavy weight of perceived constant scrutiny. Stoicism teaches humility and the importance of focusing on self-improvement for its own sake, not for applause or fear of criticism. Marcus Aurelius believed in living a life of virtue and being true to oneself, not living for external validation. So, the next time you find yourself overthinking about how others might perceive your actions, remember this lesson. You're not that special in the eyes of the world. And that's a good thing. It means you are free to live authentically and without undue concern over every judgment. This isn't about diminishing your value. It's about understanding that the spotlight isn't always on you. Use that space to focus on what truly matters to you, engage with your real passions, and let go of trivial worries. When we constantly compare ourselves to others, whether it's their successes, their looks, or their social media posts, we set ourselves up for unhappiness. It's like measuring our life's worth against a constantly changing yardstick, depending on whom we're comparing ourselves to. The Stoics focused on what's within our control, and other people's lives are definitely not within our control. Epictetus famously said, "Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot." When you focus on others, you waste your precious resource, your focus on what you cannot change. Picture this. You're having a great day, feeling proud of your accomplishments. Then you hop on social media and see someone else's highlight reel. Suddenly, your own victories don't seem as significant. That's the trap of comparison. The Stoics teach us to anchor our self-worth in our own values and progress, not in comparison to others. This isn't just about feeling better. It's about a fundamental shift in how we view success and happiness. It's about internal validation rather than external. When you live by this principle, you shift your perspective from competition to personal growth. It's liberating. When you stop comparing, you start appreciating your own journey with all its ups and downs. You begin to see your life as a unique path, not a race against others' milestones. This mindset allows you to celebrate your own successes without letting someone else's achievements dim your light. By training yourself to shift from comparison to self-reflection, you'll find that joy comes more naturally. You'll start to recognize the blessings in your own life without the need to stack them up against anyone else's. So, the next time you catch yourself falling into the comparison trap, take a step back and remind yourself that your value is defined not by how you measure up to others, but by how you live according to your own principles and efforts. Redirect that energy to your personal goals and growth. Trust me, this is a game changer in conquering overthinking and finding happiness in your own unique journey. The pursuit of perfection can be a relentless drive that ironically leads to increased dissatisfaction and paralysis. When we set unattainable standards for ourselves, every small mistake or setback feels catastrophic. It's a recipe for constant stress and chronic overthinking. The Stoic philosophers understood this. They taught that striving for perfection in the traditional sense, flawless and complete, is not only unrealistic but unnecessary. Seneca put it this way: we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. He was pointing out that our pursuit of an imagined state of perfection causes us more distress than the actual imperfections of life. Think about it. How often have you agonized over getting something just right, only to realize that the effort was causing you more anxiety than the results warranted? Stoicism invites us to embrace imperfection not as a flaw, but as a fundamental part of being human. By accepting that we are inherently imperfect, we free ourselves from the impossible expectations that lead to endless overthinking. This doesn't mean we shouldn't strive to improve or grow. Quite the opposite. It means recognizing that improvement is a process. one that is ongoing and filled with lessons learned from mistakes. Imagine approaching a new project or skill with the mindset that mistakes are expected and valuable. How much more willing would you be to start something new, innovate, and take risks? Rejecting the myth of perfection offers freedom. The Stoic approach teaches us that every imperfection is an opportunity to learn. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He's telling us that obstacles, imperfections, and setbacks are not just hurdles to overcome. They are integral parts of the journey that push us to grow and improve. So, as we move forward, let's aim for progress rather than perfection. Recognize that each step, even if flawed, is a step towards growth and understanding. Embrace your imperfections as part of your unique path and allow yourself the freedom to learn, adapt, and thrive without being held back by an impossible ideal. Next time you find yourself paralyzed by the need to be perfect, remind yourself that it's the journey, not the destination, that shapes us. Imperfections are not just acceptable, they're essential to our growth. So let's embrace them and keep moving forward with confidence. Finally, let's dive into the art of making decisions without letting overthinking paralyze us. The Stoics believed in making decisions with clarity and purpose, without being bogged down by unnecessary doubt. Imagine you're facing a choice, whether it's a big life decision or a small daily choice. It's easy to get stuck in analysis paralysis, where every option is weighed, every consequence is considered, and every possible outcome is envisioned. But this endless deliberation often leads to more confusion and less action. The Stoics teach us to simplify our decision-making process by focusing on what's truly important. Seneca advised, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." In other words, focus on what you can control, your actions, intentions, and decisions. Don't let the fear of the unknown or the need for certainty hold you back. To make clearer decisions, ask yourself, what is within my control right now? What actions can I take that align with my values and goals? By focusing on these aspects, you cut through the clutter and make decisions that are grounded in purpose rather than fear. Remember, overthinking often stems from a desire to predict and control every possible outcome. But the future is uncertain, and no amount of analysis will change that. Instead, make your decisions based on your principles and values, and then commit to taking action. This approach simplifies your decision-making process and helps you act with confidence. Embrace the uncertainty as part of the process and trust in your ability to adapt and respond. By focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot, you free yourself from the paralysis of overthinking and take proactive steps towards your goals. So, next time you face a decision, remember the Stoic wisdom. Simplify, focus on what you can control, and act with purpose. This shift in perspective will empower you to make decisions with greater clarity and confidence, and ultimately lead you to a more fulfilling and less overanalyzed life.